Omicron variant has been reported in Cape Town and Nelson Mandela Bay's sewage systems. The Medical Research Council says it was found in 11 out of 12 samples in Cape Town and 30 on 30th of November. That's 92%. It was also found in 4 samples taken in Nelson Mandela Bay. The council says Delta is still the dominant variant picked up in sewage pipes. Mongezi Mdhluli, Wastewater Surveillance Programme leader from the council, joins us now live virtually. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Now, this project was obviously started around June last year. How has it assisted us as a country in our fight against COVID-19?
Good morning, Masiho. So just a correction, we started this program around March last year, just at the height of the lockdown. So it does assist us in terms of, as you can see, it's called Wastewater Surveillance and Research Programme, that we survey the wastewater treatment plants so that we can inform the authorities to implement necessary actions should there be a rise in the RNA fragments in the wastewater.
And with this Omicron being found in wastewater in Nelson Mandela Bay and Cape Town, what does it mean in terms of reinfection? And I think a lot of people, because we've heard before from scientists that, the coronavirus pandemic stays on a surface for a particular period of time and it can still reinfect, etc. So what does this mean when you're finding it in wastewater?
I think the important thing that we have to know, if I can just raise this point, is that vaccination is so important, but it doesn't mean that you cannot be infected again. So what it says is that we may find some people who either have been vaccinated or unvaccinated, and then they're still shedding the virus. So the important thing, as we raised in our press release, is that we have to make sure that people adhere to the non-pharmaceutical interventions as well as vaccinate.
And, looking at the fact that the Delta variant you found to have been more dominating in some areas, this obviously then proves, Doc, that the Delta variant was much stronger than the variant we have right now.
Yes, I mean, if you follow the ministerial briefing yesterday, they indicated that Omicron is highly transmissible, but I think the issue around the infectivity is still not clear. So, I think it's still early days to call to say that whether Omicron is much more infective than the Delta. I think the important point that we have to raise here is that at that point when Delta was dominant, most of the South Africans were not vaccinated. So with the increase in vaccination and less hospitalization and severe illness, I think we can accredit this to the vaccination program that's currently underway.
And in terms of your findings, how does it help us then, now that you found that the Omicron is in wastewater? I think I'm going back basically to one of my questions, about reinfection. How careful must we be now? I know that wastewater is something that human beings should not be touching, but it does come back into the system, am I correct? So what does it mean now?
Yes, I think the important thing also to raise is that the fragments that we see in wastewater are not infective. Okay. So these are not the live virus that you may see with one being close to contact with the other individual. So I think it's safe, and we also indicated that in our press release. So, but again, the important thing is that, people may tend to think that since they have been infected with the virus, they can freely take off the mask and not vaccinate. I think, the possibility is still there. We see this happening in Europe, where the vaccination rate in most of the European countries is so high, yet they are getting the reinfections. But the important thing is that the hospitalization and severe illness is low, as we see currently in the country. And, the minister has also raised the point around the hospitalization admissions among the unvaccinated. If I'm correct, I think the minister indicated about 70% of the people that are hospitalized are unvaccinated.
Doc, while I still have you very quickly, why only the Western Cape and Nelson Mandela Bay? When are you moving across to other provinces, especially here where we are in Gauteng, where we experience the most cases all the time? We're the first ones to actually see a huge surge in infection rate.
Thanks, Masiho. I think that's an important question. So what we did is that We started with a PCR-based methodology, and our lab is based in Cape Town as a proof of concept. And afterwards, we carried on the next generation sequencing to confirm what we saw on the PCR. So we are doing work in Nelson Mandela Bay, as you indicated, and Western Cape. We also have the collection in the Gauteng area, and Limpopo. So we'll be extending this to in a very short while. We'll be extending to KwaZulu-Natal as well as the Free State. And the whole idea of this program is to take it a little bit wider to cover all the provinces in the country. And also, the wastewater is not only about COVID. In next year, we'll also be expanding our program to include things such as the antimicrobial resistance, as well as some illicit drugs in the wastewater.
All right, Dr. Mongezi Mdhluli, thank you very much for your time here on NewsLink on ENCA. He's the Wastewater Surveillance Programme leader from the South African Medical Research Council.